stand here, Douglas, and you can misquote people for the rest of the
Emma Harper said a hard border would create jobs. Do you agree?
I've been campaigning with Emma Harper today.
We agree with her?
We want trade to continue across the Scotland and England border, but we also want Scotland
So was
to
she
be
wrong
part
to say
again.
a hard border would
Look,
create jobs?
Douglas, and see, instead of
Yes or
misquoting...
no?
Instead of misquoting other people,
Emma Harper
why don't
said
you
a
try
hard
to put
border would
forward
create jobs?
any kind of positive
Why
case
don't
for the
you
people
try
of
to answer
Scotland?
the question?
We are still in a
Tories
pandemic,
have got
Christian, I'll just remind
nothing
people.
to offer the people of Scotland, which is why all
We are still in a
get
pandemic,
is this
Christian.
constant negativity.
We are still in a pandemic, Christian. I would just remind people on the stage.
I don't need
We are
reminding
still
of that,
in a pandemic.
Anas.
I'm sorry, but
I
sometimes
don't
you do
need
need reminded
reminding
of
of
it.
that.
Because 10,000 of our fellow citizens have lost their lives, and all you've had for 20 minutes so far is politicians bittering in a studio when there are people whose lives and livelihoods are still at risk. Do we really want to be having these arguments about borders, about currency, denying LSE reports or denying other expert reports? I don't pick and choose when I quote an expert's report. We can't pick and choose when it was around Brexit. We can't pick and choose when it was around independence. Let's instead really focus on what brings our country back together again. Would you not rather that Nicola Sturgeon and I were working together on ending child poverty rather than arguing about borders?
The trouble is, when you want to talk about other policies, the Institute for Fiscal Studies say your manifesto doesn't add up.
Yeah, so it criticised all of the parties on the stage.
Yes, and it says you're not honest about the tax rises or the cuts you would need to bring in for all your aspirations.
But Christian, unlike other political parties, I'll accept the criticism.
But the problem
some of us. So you accept your manifesto doesn't add up?
No, I accept the criticism. What I would say in the caveat is that what we published was a two-part manifesto. One was the immediate recovery plan for the first year and first phase of the recovery. And the second part is long-term ambitions, which go beyond the next Parliament. But I'm not going to do what other people on the stage do, which is choose to quote the IFS when it suits them, for example, when talking about Brexit, but choose to ignore the IFS when it talks about independence or this election campaign. It's exactly what Nicola Sturgeon does. It's exactly what Douglas Ross does.
For Anas, the difference between me and Anas is not just that we have different opinions on independence, but he wants to make the decision for people. I want to let
people are choosing in this election campaign.
And we talked about working together on child poverty. I'd be delighted to work with anybody here on tackling child poverty.